Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. I'm playing for these series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff and drink stuff, then, folks. I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. We're feeling mighty nostalgic with this one, I guess. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, though? Happens to be my nerve pitch shirt. Yeah! Might be the only person in the world who has a nerve pitch shirt. But what the hell is Nerve Pitch? So Nerve Pitch was a new metal band, came out in Canada in sort of like the early 2000s era. You know, sort of on the tailish end of the new metal boom, but you know, still riding it. They never had like a tremendous amount of success, and to be entirely honest, it would be completely forgivable if, you know, even I'd never heard of them. But there was a little bit of a kerfuffle as far as like some of their music was concerned, because for a little while there was some of their music that was considered basically lost media. Just, you know, there were a couple of songs of theirs that nobody seemed to have, and this began like several years long hunt to try to make this happen. Finally, one of the original members went over there and put out the entire album online, available for free for everybody to listen to, and we finally got to, you know, hear the album in full. It's just a really cool story, and as somebody who loves new metal, I dig the whole thing. So if you happen to be interested, let me know. I'll go over there and point you in the right direction as far as their music is concerned. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, this does kind of come from the same era as Nerve Pitch, so sort of around that time. Taco Bell, recently, they've gone over there and they've done a few little things where they've done some callback menus, right? Their decades menu. And they decided to do another one, and this one's a little bit closer to my heart than the first one because, folks, I'm reviewing, boom, their 7-layer burrito from their Y2K decades menu. I did live throughout the Y2K experience. It was a whole thing. And I don't know that I ever actually had this burrito at the time, and I actually looked it up. What the hell is in a 7-layer burrito from Taco Bell? It's lettuce, tomato, guac, beans, seasoned rice, 3-cheese blend, and reduced fat sour cream. So there's actually no protein in this. So, alright, I'm fine with that. Burrito. Here we go, ladies. Yeah, we'll just kind of, I don't know. It's not very impressive looking, but we'll just go, ha 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 ha! Let's try it out. I mean, it's not bad for what it is. I mean, it's got a lot of tasty shit in it, so. And personally, I'm a big fan of rice in a burrito. So, I like the rice. I'd say the strongest flavor element probably comes from the from the sour cream for sure. You know, it's got some nice tanginess, creaminess. That's nice. It blends nicely with the guacamole, where, like I said, you get a tanginess from the cream cheese. You get more sort of like a, you know, sort of fatty earthiness from the guacamole. So that's pretty nice. And then, I mean, the rest of it is kind of a little bit here or there. The lettuce is lettuce. It's not going to really do anything. You do get a nice little bite from the tomatoes, though. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's perfectly okay. Like, when it comes to Taco Bell, for me personally, I usually grab a burrito. It's just more handheld. It's easier, a lot of times I'm driving. When it comes to burritos, they're typically fine. Every now and again, you get one that kind of, at least for me, hits a little bit harder. If they want to do something for me in terms of a decades menu, bring back the cheesy potato burrito. That was probably my favorite burrito they ever had. This one, for what it is, what with it lacking a protein, it does kind of feel slightly less substantial, but because it has a lot of flavors going on, it doesn't feel that much less substantial. It would definitely be nicer if you had some seasoned beef in there or some steak or something like that to kind of give it a little extra savoriness. But, let's be honest, having lettuce as a layer, that's not a fucking layer. Let's just get that out of the way. But yeah, I mean, the flavors aren't terrible for what it is. I can get along with it well enough. It's nothing great. I wouldn't personally put this as being one that, really hits extra hard for me. And this being part of their decades menu, I see this more as probably what this originally came out as anyway, which was like, here's a way we can go over there and make a relatively cheap burrito with shit we already use. That's kind of what it is, but the flavors aren't bad for what they are. And like I said, I like the rice, so 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Maybe and sure. Like, again, it's definitely not going to be a burrito that I feel a lot of reason to go back to because, again, like, it's a lot of the same shit that you're going to get in their other burritos anyway, just minus a protein. But I don't hate it for what it is. Like I said, I like some of the elements of it. It's a little bit underwhelming in some capacity, but like not as much. Again, like being that it does lack a protein, you would think it would be less or it would be more underwhelming. But like for what it is, again, it's tasty enough. It gets the job done. Not going to be a go-to for me, but sure, maybe I'd grab it again. If I'm recommending it though. Sure. It's not a bad thing. And, I'm sure it'll be a limited time, menu item. Though, honestly, I don't know why. Because, again, it feels like an easy way to get a cheap win. Just because it's already shit that they have in availability or in widespread availability. But at the same time, you don't have to put a protein in there. So, I don't know that it really does much for me personally as a decades menu item. But maybe for you folks, you might have that nostalgia factor for it. Good on you. I'm sure it will hit pretty much exactly the way it did back in the day. So, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there themselves a truly 7-layer-tastic rest of your life. Because, I mean, come on now. You get like a 7-layer dip or something like that. That's some good shit. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. When we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, let me know, do you have nostalgia for the 7-layer burrito? Because like I said, I honestly don't know if I ever had it back in the day. Like, I probably did. But if I did, it definitely wasn't a go-to, And again, like I've always been a burrito guy with Taco Bell. So, but yeah, for me, that was one of those ones when I saw it on the decades menu. I was like, yeah, I'll give that one a shot. It seems like it could be interesting. But like I said, having no personal relationship with it. But let me know what your experience has been.